Greetings, brothers and sisters. MZ back with another edition of Who's the Savage Now? Who's the Savage Now? Looks like Katie Halper and Matt Taibbi are the Savage Now. I don't have anything against, I didn't have anything against, still don't have anything against either one of them, except for they're trying to do a podcast, and they got a podcast, but they're doing it under the banner, under the Rolling Stone banner. Now, podcasting is from the ground up. It's not from the top down. It was a DIY movement. You know, people from their garages, their basements, their bedrooms, their living rooms, giving a platform to themselves to get information out that you wouldn't ordinarily hear on the mainstream media, etc., etc. So here's a mainstream media organization, Rolling Stone, despite, you know, their liberal media representations and stories and articles, i.e. Matt Taibbi, it's still a mainstream corporate news organization with mainstream corporate news organization interests, okay, and opinions and biases. All right. Now, if you believe that the podcast, now if Matt Taibbi wanted to start his own the small cursor knows this guy right here, this funny looking dude right here in an upside down baseball cap, this clone looking guy right here, with next to this overweight, hard to look at, hard to listen to, person. Oh God, and the chemistry between them is so god awful. It's so freaking god awful. It's cringy. It's so cringy. And my argument against this is that it's the corporatization of a grassroots DIY movement, being the podcast movement. It's the corporate takeover of the podcast, the truth and podcasting movement, under the guise of a Useful Idiots podcast. Aren't we liberal? Aren't we happy? Aren't we friendly? You know, it's all smiles and all thumbs up over there at the freaking Useful Idiots. See, you got the Rolling Stone there. Announcing a new podcast from Rolling Stone. Useful Idiots is an informative and irreverent politics pod with journalist Matt Taibbi and podcaster/writer. Nobody knows who she is. She's not a journalist. They don't even say it in their own bio. She's just a podcaster and a writer. Okay, podcaster, writer. Matt's a journalist. Okay. Established journalist, author. What's Katie? She's a podcaster, writer. She's done nothing of note. Nothing noteworthy. Episodes feature on-the-road coverage of the 2020. Ooh, that's going to be good. And commentary, dissection of the politics news of the week. Yeah, okay, let's get on the train. You know what else I find interesting about Katie is I did just a quick search on her bio. She's also got a show at WBAI in New York, the Katie Halper Show. Okay, for those of you who watch my videos, you know that I focus on Pacifica Radio Network. WBAI is a Pacifica station in New York. There's 5 Pacifica stations. KPFK in Los Angeles is one of them. WBAI is a Pacifica station in New York. And here's Katie Halper, another grifter, news grifter. All right, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. Imho, another news grifter, okay? And look here. Katie co-produced Tim Robbins' film Embedded, all right? Now, I don't know if she's exaggerating or not, but she had some connection with Tim Robbins and his film Embedded. And who's one of their guests on the show but Tim frickin' Robbins, okay? So it's all chummy, buddy. You scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. And immediately she's stepped up a whole bunch here. She stepped up into the limelight, especially being able to sit next to Matt, who everybody knows, respects, and trusts. and enjoys this. They're bringing her along under Matt's fame and reputation. Okay, they're bringing in this woman. Okay, who is simply is known as a podcaster writer. All right, that's it. And she's got this radio show. One of the other things she does is a radio show at WBAI in New York. All right, so I just found that very interesting, very interesting. And then you can always donate money to the radio station, blah blah blah. That everybody's got their hand out, and especially these two. Let me just show you what their intro to the show. Am I recording? Let me just see if I'm recording. Am I still recording? What happens if we do that? I don't know. Da-da-da-da. Yeah. There's the red dot. Okay, we're good. So let's listen to their freaking intro. Announcing new Rolling Stone podcast, Useful Idiots with Matt Taibbi and Katie Hamburger Halper. Katie Hamburger Halper. That's a good one. Thumbs down. Oh God. Okay, let's play it. Will it play? It's not going to play. It's frozen. Let's see if we can refresh. Refresh it.
Hey boy, what you say, boy?
Do I seem angry? I hope not. These things piss me off. It's all. This is the news. This is the news. The corporate. Okay.
Hi, we're Matt Taibbi and Katie Halper.
I'm Katie Halper. He's Matt Taibbi.
We're starting a new podcast called Useful Idiots.
And this is our podcast trailer. In a world. Just kidding.
See, so she's not funny. She's not even funny. Okay, here, Katie Halper, The Nation. She's also gets published in The Nation, all right? Katie Halper, the podcaster, writer. She's a comic. It says she's, okay, this is The Nation, their staff info. Katie Halper is a comic, writer, blogger, satirist, and filmmaker based in New York and host of The Katie Halper Show on WBAI. And check this out. She also appears on MSNBC. Okay, MSNBC. You see that right there? MSNBC. She'll go anywhere, do anything, and yeah. Okay, so oh God, it pisses me off.
The show will cover politics and the media, and we'll also have regular updates from the campaign, which Matt will be covering for Rolling Stone.
And we'll talk about media bias, how the press...
See, another thing about this, it bothers me, they're not lifting a finger to get this show out there, neither of them. They're probably getting a nice paycheck for it, too. All right? They're not lifting a finger. They don't have to carry a camera, hook up a microphone, anything like that. All they got to do is show up, okay? When you do a podcast, man, it's DIY. Am I wrong? What do you guys think? Am I wrong about this? If you're a podcaster, a real podcaster, you're doing it yourself, man. You do it yourself. That's the whole thing. And that's what pisses me off about this freaking podcast. These guys they're not doing anything. They've got professional audio technicians, professional audio gear. They've got, they're probably getting a paycheck, a huge budget for guests and whatnot, huge reach in terms of guests. It just pisses me off. And now they're pushing merch down our fucking throats, man. Fucking merch. And then Matt jokes about fucking feeding his kids. He needs to sell the merch to feed his kids. Come on.
Things wrong.
Hillary Clinton has a 100% chance of winning.
And keeps getting things wrong.
This is going to be...
Is this news to anybody? That there's bias in the media? I knew this 20 years ago. We knew this 30 fucking years ago. Bias in the media, and the media gets things wrong. Is this news to anybody?
The beginning of the end of Donald Trump.
The beginning of the end of the Trump presidency.
Matt, by the way, is an award-winning journalist and best-selling author. He was also a professional basketball player in Mongolia, for real.
I was known as the Mongolian Rodman. No, we can't do that.
No, why not?
Oh, God. Oh. It's cringeworthy. Matt's great. arguably a great writer, but he's just not a broadcaster. I'm sorry, folks, and neither is Katie. Neither is.
Why not? It's true, right?
It is
She
true.
washed her hair. I think she washed her hair for this one. It's hard to tell, though. Definitely no makeup. Look at that face. Look at that face. Needs to work out a little more.
Well-known podcaster and journalist who also won an award for writing a poem about homelessness when she was 8.
It's a first-person narrative about a homeless woman. I ride the...
Her whole it's just downer, man. It's Downerville. There's no energy here. She's got no energy. It's a vacuum. She's like a vacuum. She's like a vortex. She's an energy fucking vampire. That's the problem with Katie. She's not putting anything out. She's just sucking fucking all the energy into her vortex vacuum. And Matt's just giggling like a 2-year-old kid over here. What the fuck is going on with these two?
I see the people in their coats of fur and leather. Do they even notice me? I really wonder whether.
Jesus. And there are going to be lots of different segments.
Yeah, that's her claim to fame, a poem that she wrote when she was 8. That's her big credit.
Blacked out, important stories getting no attention from the media.
And Name That War Criminal.
And Neocon or Neolib, a guessing game. And we'll, of course, play Matt's famous debate.
None of them, they didn't come up with any of these bits. They have a producer, and somebody came up with all these things. They're reading off cue cards. They're reading off fucking cue cards. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Oh, man. A podcast, my ass.
Drinking games.
They're going to be interviewed.
And they're so funny. That Matt's a comedian now. Look at this face. Look at this. Look at this face, dude.
Writers, reporters, politicians, even presidential candidates.
Maybe we can try.
Ooh, look at the guests we can get, because we're Rolling Stone. We're Rolling Stone. We got a nice studio. Look at the guests we can get.
Henry Kissinger to come on, or if not, we can get that guy from Office Space to impersonate him.
They've moved my desk 4 times already this year.
Useful idiots will become.
That was supposed to be funny. Look, he's reading. He's reading off a cue card.
Soon.
You can find Useful Idiots wherever you find your favorite podcast or your least favorite podcast.
We're still working on the chemistry thing.
You got that right, Matt. You got that right. And you can work on it till cows come home, buddy. It ain't gonna come. You're never gonna get it. Never gonna get it. Never gonna get it.
Useful Idiots.
Yeah,
You can
Useful
find
Idiots,
Useful
yeah.
Idiots anywhere.
Follow Useful Idiots.
You know you want to.
You know you want to. Listen to Useful Idiots.
They're reading off a fucking cue card. I just noticed that.
Coming to a podcast app near you.
Oh, God. Oh, vomit. Hurl vomit. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that is hard to watch. Oh. Again, podcasts are not from the top down, they're from bottom up. It's people, real people giving out real information, that they believe to be true and accurate. It's not Rolling Stone hiring professional audio technicians to go record Matt Taibbi with Katie Hamburger Halper. All right? Hamburger Helper. And then just one other thing I want to show you. Look at her body language here. Here they are with their merch. Okay, they got coffee mugs. Why do they need merch? Okay, now the whole idea of selling merch as a podcaster is to support your channel, right? Their bills are paid in full, prepaid in full. Look at her arms. Look at her defensive body language. And this hair. If you're going to be on TV, man, can you put some effort into looking okay? Look at Matt. Matt's clean cut. He looks good for the most part. Look at Katie. She's slouching. She's slovenly. She's got her arms locked together in a real defensive position. Her hair is like, did she wash it? Hey, if you're going to put yourself on TV, man, be ready for some criticism. Criticism is just where criticism is due. And they talked to Lee Fang, investigative journalist. Again, I don't trust anybody. Don't just because somebody's name is on a book doesn't mean they wrote it. All right? And just because someone is a New York Times bestseller doesn't mean they sold a lot of books. Okay? There's other ways to get those. There's other ways to get your name put on a book than writing one. And there's other ways to become a New York Times bestseller than by selling more books than anybody else. Okay? And that's my belief. I mean, New York Times bestsellers, how many of them are there walking the planet? You probably walk past 3 or 4, half a dozen a day. New York Times bestseller. Just see how many, just start watching how many people have a New York Times best-selling book. Okay? Just listen. How many people have a New York Times best-selling book? But look at her posture, man. And this woman is itchy woman. She's just unwatchable.
Welcome to Useful Idiots. I'm Matt Taibbi.
Welcome to Useful Idiots. I'm Katie Halper.
Are you stoked? Are you happy to live in the third world?
They're trying to be funny, but it's not working, and it's cringy. Watch her hands. Watch her hands. She clenching, unclenching, crosses the hands. The hands are always moving, and she's thirsty. She is one thirsty broadcaster.
Who's happy to live in the third
Wolf
world?
button. Problematic.
Oh, it's third world?
Now, whose idea was this? Okay, none of this is their idea. None. I mean, except hey, let's do a podcast together. None. They don't carry a mic. They don't plug in a mic. They don't do anything other than show up and blab on and on and on for an hour. All right, and interview somebody. It violates the very spirit of podcasting, the raison d'etre of podcasting. It's the corporatization of podcasting. That's why it gets me so upset.
World, I believe.
Developing
Although that's
world.
almost worse.
Is it?
It's like condescending.
Right. All
Like
right.
it's not yet developed.
Was that a scratch?
Are you
like-
psyched to live in a shithole
Was
country?
that a scratch? Was that a scratch?
Are you
Like-
psyched to live in a shithole country?
Okay, clasping the
that's better.
microphone.
Is that better?
I'm very psyched. Yeah.
Clasp-
No, I'm
Go
psyched
for a
to
drink?
live in
Nope.
in the thing that Dems
Wait.
pretend Russia is.
We don't need to listen to this drivel. We don't need to just watch Katie. Watch Katie's body language. Watch Katie's body language. Watch her. Oh my God. Oh. There she goes. Is that a scratch? Was that a scratch? Hard to tell with her. Okay, clasping the mic. Touch. Okay. Oh, was she going for? What was? He was gonna go for a drink. She goes, "No, I'm talking. I should talk now. I should talk now." Matt says, "Yeah, sure." Dude, he kind of looks funny too. He's kind of got a funny look. He kind of looks like a clone or something, right out of the Zuckerberg laboratory. He talks sideways out of his mouth or something. I don't know what's going on there. But I've never seen him at a laptop. I've never seen him writing. There she goes for the first drink. Nope, she's going to drink. No, she's just going to hold on to the cup for security. She got one hand. Look, one hand is on clasping the mic. She's got the cup. She's a clutcher. I think there's gin and juice in there, man. I'm thinking that Katie's sipping on some gin and juice. Matt, look, there's another scratch. There's another scratch. She was scratching something. Okay, her hands are under the table. Can't see what's going on there. Matt's okay, wiping away sweat on his brow. Katie, your body language says it all, sweetie. Oh, God.
And are like, yeah, whatever. The caucus system sucks.
Oh, I know.
It's
yeah.
so funny because like they have become anarchists
Right, yeah, it's
all of a sudden.
late stage
Sit up
nihilism.
straight.
Yeah,
Katie.
exactly.
And, so
Sit up straight, Katie, for crying out
some
loud.
improvements to the show.
Oh yeah.
It's now, we actually can go forward with
Oh,
this.
here we go. Look at him. Look at him. Sleazy. Buy our merch. Why? Who gets the money? Where does the money go? Rolling Stone? Who gets what's the point of merch for your podcast, guys? This is shameless. And Matt admits it. Listen.
This is
Yeah.
a tote bag that I'm wearing, kind of.
And it has an
because-
inside pocket to it.
Oh
too.
yes,
Oh,
look,
really?
guys.
Oh, really? That's a tote bag? Is that what that is, Katie? Jesus, what a she's sharp. She is sharp.
We're trying, this is us shamefully, crassly commercializing a Red Scare meme.
Yeah, exactly. The trauma of McCarthyism.
You got
Look,
it right.
guys,
Yep.
an inside
Listen.
pocket, so it's like a pouch. So basically, you put your wallet in there, your cell phone in there, whatever.
Right.
I'm going to start wearing this.
It looks
Yeah.
good on you. So
Right.
this is this is us shamefully, crassly commercializing a Red Scare meme.
Yeah, exactly. The trauma of...
Exactly. What are you guys doing with merch, man? Commercializing it. That's and he admits it. Commercializing.
trying to make a buck off of it.
Yeah, and we were doing...
Trying to make a buck as she goes for another sip. What's in that cup, man? Gin and juice. Trying to make a buck off it. What a hog, man. What a pig of a woman. She is a pig of a woman. Trying to make a buck off it. Let's listen to that again. That was perfect.
Look, guys, an inside pocket, so it's like a pouch. So basically, you
big
put your
fat-
wallet in there, your cell
Like your
phone in
big
there,
fat
whatever.
belly.
Right.
I'm going to start wearing this.
It looks
Yeah.
good on you. So
Right.
this is this is us
She's gonna start wearing it? Is that what she said? You're gonna start wearing it. So what is this, Matt? What the commercialization of the Useful Idiots podcast? What's going on here?
shamefully, crassly commercializing a Red Scare meme.
Yeah, exactly. The trauma of McCarthyism. Trying to make a buck off of it.
Yeah, and we were doing this...
Trying to make a buck off it as she looks off into the... What are you sipping on, Katie? What are you sipping on, honey? That's not tea.
My three beautiful children don't have to eat cat food anymore.
Yeah.
That will only happen if you, in droves,
Wait,
have Useful Idiots merch. What do you think?
I like it. Looks good.
I think it's shameful, Matt, for a respected journalist such as yourself, and that's what I said in the comments down below. I think it's shameful. Who's the savage now? Matt Taibbi, respected American journalist and author, is now hawking T-shirts and coffee mugs on a corporate podcast. Ouch. But don't blame him. It probably wasn't his idea. Okay. And some people said, no, he's okay.
Tote bag that I'm wearing, kind of.
And it has an inside pocket, too.
Oh,
too,
yes.
right?
Look, guys. An inside pocket, so it's like a pouch. So basically, you put your wallet in there, your cell
Like your-
phone in there, whatever.
Like your belly, big fat pouch.
I'm going to start wearing this.
It looks
Yeah.
good on you. So
Right.
this is, we're trying...
She's going to start wearing it. I heard that correctly. She's going to start wearing it. Bellator fights are on free on YouTube right now. Bellator Ireland fights are on right now. If you got don't stop watching this, but well, if you want. 2 p.m. It's I'm MZ. This is Who's the Savage Now. It's February 22nd, Saturday. I just got my computer back and back in the game. Back in the game, folks.
This is us shamefully, crassly commercializing a Red Scare meme.
Yeah, exactly.
Why, Matt? Why are you shamefully, crassly commercializing anything, dude? For what? Oh, so your kids can eat. That's right. Listen.
Of McCarthyism. Trying to make a buck off of it.
Yeah, and we were doing this so that my three beautiful children don't have to eat cat food anymore.
Yeah.
That's a joke, right? Is that a joke, Matt? He's not a comedian. He's not a broadcaster. Maybe a respected journalist. Maybe. I've never seen him write anything. I know his name. I know he has names. I know his name's on a lot of books and articles. I've never seen him write. Never read anything he's written anyway. But I like him on interviews and stuff. Democracy Now. Times I've heard him there. I like what he says. He seems to be on the right page, but I don't know. I've never seen him write anything. Definitely never seen this woman write anything. Look, she's still wearing the tote bag. Oh God.
That will only happen if you, in droves,
Yeah.
go to YouTube and look in the description
Yeah.
section where you can find the link to buy these amazing
Smash that link.
products.
Yuck, 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 Matt. Yuck, yuck, yuck. So your kids, if we don't go in droves and buy your merch, your kids are going to have to eat cat food? That's so funny. That's so funny. You're getting people to donate to your show and not to real shows out there, real podcasters that don't have a Rolling Stone budget and a Rolling Stone platform and a Rolling Stone push. Shame on you, Matt Taibbi. Shame on you, bro. If you want to start your own podcast, start your own podcast. Make it the Matt Taibbi Show. Do it from your spare bedroom, your office, at your home. Don't do it at Rolling Stone headquarters. Don't do it there. Don't push their merch. That's, F you. F you, dude.
That link, yeah.
Exactly. So, Useful Idiots
Yuck,
merch is
yuck,
happening.
yuck. It's so funny. It's just so funny that we're commercializing this just to make more money, crassly and shamelessly. He admits it. Just to make more money so I can pick my nose on camera. So I can pick my nose and Katie can scratch herself silly on the camera.
It's funny. We got mugs, shirts,
Tote
bags.
bags.
F you.
We're pushing
Shove it up your ass.
products.
Yeah, I think we
We need
need
suggestions,
steroids, blood thinners,
Yes. Yeah.
Katie's already on those.
and
Oh,
yeah.
yay.
So now we have our merch.
Yes.
And
Now you've arrived, Matt. Now you've arrived, buddy. Being an author, celebrated journalist wasn't enough. Now you got merch, buddy. Congratulations.
Yeah.
we can get onto with the show, and we start.
Yeah, because the show wasn't a real show and couldn't go anywhere unless we had merch. Yeah.
The 4 food groups of news: Democrats suck, Republicans suck. Isn't that weird? Isn't that terrible?
This show's fucking weird, and this show's fucking terrible. And Katie Halper is horrible. Look, she's still wearing a tote bag. How long before she goes for another sip or a scratch?
But he was suggesting on Twitter that we should replace that this week with.
So she pulls the sleeves down. The sleeves are down now. Sleeves are down. We've gone from sleeves up to sleeves down. Watch how many protestations. What's the word? How many movements she makes.
Democrats suck. Democrats suck.
Her body language. Just watch her body language.
Democrats weird, aren't Democrats terrible?
Oh, that
it's
is
just such a bad week.
That's good.
The first thing I think for
that's good.
Democrats like it's me this week. There's 2 of them.
Democrats suck. Yeah, that's fucking news, buddy. That's some real fucking big news. You know what? These guys are riding on the coattails of people like Jimmy Dore. All right, Jimmy Dore's been doing it for a while, and he's on his way to 1 million subs. Right, fast approaching 1 million subs. These guys are jumping onto the bandwagon. Rolling Stone, Daily Show now is trying to do a podcast, but it's not even real stuff. It's just jokes and stuff with Ronnie Chang and stuff. It's not even real news. He's just making the same jokes he makes on the show, but it's not funny because there's no video. You can't see it, and it's just it's overexposure. It's still too much. But like Matt, this is a new format for Matt. This is a new medium for Matt. But not for Katie, but she's horrible at it. She's a horrible broadcaster. She's got no energy. She's so low freaking energy. I think there's gin in that thing.
Really briefly, is to touch on Chris Matthews.
I love him.
I guess he's not a Democrat. He doesn't work for the Democratic Party, and I actually have in the past, as a person, I don't mind Chris Matthews.
He's hilarious. Wait.
Yeah, Chris Matthews is hilarious. On MSNBC, remember now, Katie often appears on MSNBC. Katie often appears on MSNBC. Wait a minute. Carrie went to Florida with Junie. Okay. Katie, The Nation. She gets articles published in The Nation. And Katie Halper at KT Halps. Okay, that's her on Twitter. But she appears on MSNBC. She probably knows. She probably knows Chris Matthews. Like she knows Tim Robbins. Because she was a co-producer of his. Katie co-produced Tim Robbins' film Embedded. Oh, let's have our friends on. Let's have a podcast and invite on our friends, our Hollywood friends, for some news.
A Democrat, he mentions every episode of his show that he worked for Tip O'Neill.
Right. Okay, but he's not.
And okay, so Chris Matthews talks about working for Tip O'Neill. This is one big club. It's the news club. This is my theory. It's a news club, and they're turning the news into a profit center. All right, they're becoming rich and famous off of the news, off of horror, off of a war, off of starvation, off of corruption in politics, corruption in voting, corruption in everything. They're making money selling their books and podcasts and articles and all this crap. They're making money. They're getting rich, going around giving lectures, going around selling their merch, all right? They're getting rich on all this stuff, okay? And they're not breaking any news. If you didn't know this already, how many people didn't know there was bias in media, all right, and that the press doesn't misreports stuff, the mainstream press. And by the way, Rolling Stone is a mainstream press organization, all right? Despite publishing Matt.Taibbi, it's a mainstream news organization, all right? It's a corporate news organization.
He's like very partisan, with
corporate news interests and corporate news biases.
He's not an elected member.
Right, no, he's not.
Look, what's Katie Halper doing with her? What is going on? She's moving those arms.
Chris Matthews.
I love him.
I guess he's not a Democrat. He doesn't work
kung
for the
fu
Democratic
grip.
Party, and I actually have
She's got that.
As a person, I don't mind Chris Matthews.
He's hilarious.
He's hilarious. I love that. She's got that kung fu grip on that microphone. And who's doing the editing? Who's doing the camera work? They've got a couple different cameras. There she goes. Scratch number one. Not pulling the shirts down. Now she's hiding her hand. She's covering her. What is that? What is that? I'm not a body language person, but what? She's pulled her shirt all the way down over her hands. Now she's still got a death grip on that microphone. What's going on?
Was not the kind of person who would rescue someone on the side of the road.
Even though he literally rescued a woman in her wheel, he prevented it.
Wall. Not a broadcaster.
Look, ma'am, look out! There's a car coming. People have fainted on his show.
Not a natural broadcaster. Not a lot of charm and charisma coming off of Katie.
And he saved Andrea Mitchell.
Katie Hamburger Halper.
Help! And he's like, "Are you all right? Are you okay? Back up! No, stop!" And can you?
Katie, no stranger to Hamburger Halper.
Drop out. Anyway, that's in 2016. But yeah, he saved Andrea Mitchell's life.
So basically, what you're
back to the death grip on the mic.
Basically, threw a dart into randomness to pick the one thing that.
Look at Matt. Look at fucking Matt.
You couldn't possibly actually criticize
him. It's like totally off because sometimes Matthews does say things that are really uncomfortable,
Buy
but
our
kind
merch.
of like accurate.
Buy our freaking merch.
Oh right. Well, yes, I do agree with that.
Okay. Allegedly,
Swalwell, by the way, we didn't do a follow up. He tweeted total exoneration.
Really?
Yeah. When Matthews, when the hardball people were like it was a mug movie.
Right.
But yeah, this is just it's so off. Like he's the first one who would pick you up on the side of the road. Like he wouldn't be sweet about it. He's a mensch.
They're spending like all this time talking about Chris Matthews at MSNBC.
I don't know what Mayor Pete would like
saying he's an okay guy.
Unless there was media there, and if there was media there, he'd like back up and be like,
I don't know if that's true. I can't say that.
Well,
he's in the military. Okay. Anyway.
This is where it gets really weird. I don't know if it's true. I can't say that. Anyway, what's that? See, they're not free to speak their mind. They're not free to speak their mind here. Matt because Matt disagreed with something. Disagreed with something, but he can't say it. Watch.
Like, I don't know what Mayor Pete would like drive way past you unless there was media there, and if there was media there, he'd like back up and be like,
I don't know if that's true. I can't say that.
Well,
he's in the military. Okay. Anyway.
See. Wait. Go delve, Matt. Delve into that point. Delve into that point about Pete Buttigieg. What can't you say about him? He disagrees with her, but he has to gloss over it. They can't disagree on the show, I guess. Apparently, that's weird. That's weird, right? That's not what podcasters do, man. Come on, Matt.
Military, the glorious institution.
Training, yeah, I mean, look, okay, whatever.
That's good. Who's the first one who would drive by?
There's a lot here. Whatever.
Unless there was media there, and if
whatever. What? No, Matt. No, whatever. State your case, man. Make your point. It's not whatever. What a great writer. What a great choice of words, Matt. What a great man. You've got a command of the English language. Whatever. Wow. How way to put a fine point on it. Way to put a fine point on it, Matt.
Yeah, there he'd like back up and be like,
then watch Katie. She takes another sip.
I don't know if that's true. I can't say that.
Well,
he's in the military. Okay. Anyway.
What? No, Matt. Delve. delve, dude. I don't know if I can say. I don't know if that's true. Anyway, I don't want to talk about it now. Let's not talk about that here. Let's not have a disagreement here on our show, on our podcast. Let's not have a disagreement now on our podcast.
The military,
Here she goes for another sip. The military. What is? Matt hasn't taken one drink. He doesn't even have a drink. She's got a drink with a straw.
glorious
Yeah,
institution.
training. Yeah, I mean, look, okay, whatever. So
It's good. Who's the first?
That's good. She's drinking out. That's alcohol. That is alcohol. That's alcohol. That's somebody sitting at a bar. That's somebody sitting at a bar sipping on a cocktail, man. That's how they behave. Look at her with her finger up in the air now. She's getting a little more confidence. She's getting a little more confidence. She's let go of the mic. She's gotten a little more confidence. She's got a little gin and juice. She's getting a little more confident there.
Would drive by someone on the road.
well, so then we're
She's getting a little more confident now to talk, speak her mind. And what's the point she's making? Chris Matthews wouldn't stop and help somebody on the side of the road. What the fuck are they talking about?
we're just sinking to that level.
You got to fight Matthew's fire with fire.
See, we don't need we can't unilaterally
When they
disarm.
go,
She's getting boozy. She's getting boozy, man. You gotta fight fire with fire. Yeah, Matthews, the Matthews. Watch that again.
So
it's good. Who's the first one who would drive by someone on?
She interrupts him to make a point. Got his finger in his face. Her finger in his face. Look, almost in his face. And she's getting a little more confident drinking the booze.
Well, so then we're just sinking to that level.
You got to fight Matthew's fire with fire.
See,
You gotta fight Matthews' fire with fire. What the fuck does that mean?
we don't need we can't unilaterally disarm.
When they go high. No,
Low.
when they go low, we go high.
Right,
All
exactly.
fine.
Wow. This is this is a great discussion, man. This is cutting edge stuff. When they go low, if they go low, we go high. Oh God!
So he did that. He did the whole that whole thing, and then he was talking just before the.
God. Both of them can barely articulate their thoughts. I mean, maybe he's a great writer. But writers usually are very articulate speakers. I mean, in my experience, writers are usually very articulate speakers, man. James Baldwin. Think of the great writers. Usually very intelligent. Just think of all the great writers that you know. Usually very articulate. Or poets.
Caucus, and he was discussing the idea of a broker convention, and he says that he's discussing the possibilities of who could be nominated, and he brings this up.
I said before, I think we may be going to Milwaukee with.
Oh man, I'm gonna stop it right now. This will be the end of part one, but yeah, I'm really upset. I got to go get the dog. He's starting to bark. Not happy with this podcast. Leave your likes and comments in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you like the content. I'm MZ. Have a blessed day and be grateful. MZ out. How do I get out? Here we go. How do I get out of here? MZ out. Stop recording.